Today is Wednesday, September 11th. We're talking about a new law to help future generations understand what happened 18 years ago today. And after some election fraud, we'll tell you how the do-over turned out. Plus, details about the newest iPhones, how much Apple TV will cost you, and expect new tech at the drive-thru. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Today marks 18 years since the September 11th attacks in 2001. So we start today by remembering the nearly 3,000 people killed at the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and aboard Flight 93. A commemoration ceremony today will be held at the 9/11 Memorial in New York City. The names of every single person who died will be read out loud. All the major TV networks will carry the day's first moment of silence at 8:46 a.m. The ceremony will also stream live on Facebook. And also of note, CNN reports New York's governor has signed a new law requiring all public schools in the state to hold a moment of silence to mark the anniversary. The law is meant to make sure future generations understand what happened, since soon there will be no students in school that were born before September 11th, 2001. The 9/11 Memorial and Museum is also asking people who commemorate the anniversary on social media to use the hashtag #HonorNineEleven. There's been another big shakeup at the White House. National Security Advisor John Bolton is out. President Trump says he fired him because they didn't agree on foreign policy. The National Security Advisor is just what it sounds like, the top advisor to the president when it comes to national security issues. ABC News reports the president says he asked Bolton for his resignation Monday night, which was handed over the next day. But Bolton says that's actually not what happened. He says Trump never asked him to step down, that instead he did it on his own because of a, quote, accumulation of things, not giving specifics, at least not yet. Bolton is known for being pretty aggressive when it comes to foreign policy, but President Trump was not always on board with his ideas. In fact, Fox News reports before Bolton stepped down, he was reportedly not invited to some major meetings about Afghanistan and potential peace talks with the Taliban. As for what lawmakers think of this sudden departure, well, as usual, it depends on who you ask. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, for example, says he likes Bolton, but Trump has to do what he thinks is best. While others, like Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar, says, so long. Bolton made the world a, quote, dangerous place. Still, other Democrats want to know more about why this happened so suddenly, especially since Bolton was already President Trump's third national security advisor. Either way, the president says he will announce a replacement next week. For now, the deputy national security advisor, Charles Kupperman, will fill in. The results are in, and it was a close one. But Republican Dan Bishop won in North Carolina's special election for a seat in Congress. This election was basically a redo because of suspected fraud in last year's midterm elections. Remember that? PBS reports the results were thrown out over concerns someone connected to the Republican candidate at the time had messed with the absentee ballots. So they tossed the results out and started over with a new Republican running for the congressional seat. And NBC News reports this time around it was a closely watched race. This particular district in North Carolina has voted Republican since the 60s. So last night's results could shed light on how voters are feeling about Republicans in general and specifically President Trump as he runs for re-election in 2020. Ultimately, Republicans kept the seat. Dan Bishop won by a narrow margin. For the first time in a decade, the number of Americans without health insurance has gone up. A report from the Census Bureau says more than 27 million people did not have health care in 2018. That's a nearly 8% increase from the year before. The reason? Well, the Wall Street Journal reports it's likely because more people are making too much money to get government help through Medicaid, yet they're still not qualifying for job-based coverage, so they go uninsured. Although some experts say it could actually be because of the changes to the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. The law passed in 2010 and had a goal of bringing down the number of uninsured people. There's a lot to it, but in part it expanded public programs like Medicaid to more low-income people. Since then, President Trump has taken steps to reverse some of those rules and make it harder for people to qualify for that government help. He says the regulations drive up premiums. Overall, the Washington Post says there are two things going on here from this new report. On one hand, more people are at financial risk without any health coverage. But on the other side, the number of Americans living in poverty is actually down to its lowest level since 2001, which is a good sign. Expect healthcare to be a major political issue heading into the 2020 presidential election. More news ahead, but first let's take a quick break to thank today's sponsor, Noom. Noom could help you whether you want to lose weight or just have some more support to live a healthier lifestyle. You even have a goal specialist that will message directly with you about your situation to help offer advice, keep you motivated, and hold you accountable. I've been pretty impressed with their response time as well. Noom also allows you to track your meal and exercise and keep track of other goals to help you form better habits. And you can do it all in one place with one app. And Noom only expects you to spend about 10 minutes on the app a day to help you make progress and work toward results. Noom knows you don't have to change in just one day because small steps can lead to big progress. Noom is not about dieting, it's about creating a healthy, easy-to-stick-to way of life. So if you want to try Noom out, just sign up for your trial at Noom.com/newsworthy. That's Noom, Noom.com/newsworthy. That's Noom.com/newsworthy to sign up for the trial. Now, back to the news. We have the details now about the new iPhones coming soon. As expected, Apple announced the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max at its annual event yesterday. The iPhone 11 has a new dual camera on the back for wide-angle shots, and The Verge says the front camera can now do slow-mo selfie videos. Oh, and it has the, quote, toughest glass ever for an iPhone. It will cost just less than $700. The iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max have 3 cameras rather than 2, and they can shoot in 4K resolution. They'll cost about $1,000. The new phones will start shipping September 20th. And November 1st is the date Apple's new video streaming service, Apple TV Plus, will be available. By the way, all new iPhones, iPads, Macs, and Apple TVs will come with a year of Apple TV Plus for free. Or it will cost you $5 per month for a family subscription. Apple also announced a new iPad and a new Apple Watch. And Apple Arcade, its gaming subscription service, comes out next week with 100 new games. It will also cost about $5 a month. You can check out all the details from Apple's event in today's show notes. Uber is cutting more jobs. The New York Times reports the company laid off 435 workers yesterday. They were all from the company's product and engineering teams, and Uber just laid off 400 other people from its marketing team back in July. The company said it's streamlining to stay competitive. But it's had a rough time since it went public in May. Uber reported a $5.2 billion quarterly loss in August. Other companies are getting ready to hire for the holidays. Yes, it's that time of year. USA Today reports Target is hiring more than 130,000 seasonal workers for its stores and distribution centers. It's hosting hiring events at every store starting next month. UPS also says it plans to hire more than 100,000 temp employees to help with the increase in packages that will start in November and continue all the way through January. UPS says they expect a record season this year. Amazon will also hire tens of thousands of seasonal workers on top of the 30,000 new job openings they announced earlier this week for more permanent positions. 2 new things to tell you about in the world of fast food. First, fast food is about to get faster. McDonald's just bought a company that is trying to automate the drive-thru. Engadget says the company uses artificial intelligence to understand drive-thru orders in multiple languages. McDonald's has been testing this tech in several locations and says it should help with faster, more accurate order taking, first at the drive-thru and eventually at kiosks and on mobile. It may make life easier for customers, but as with any automation, it could come at the cost of human jobs. Next up, Wendy's. Business Insider says Wendy's is the only major fast food chain without a national breakfast menu until now. The restaurant is about to start serving some breakfast items nationwide. MarketWatch says Wendy's did try breakfast in the past, but stopped offering it in 2012. Well, they're trying again across the country starting next year. And that's it for the main news today, but it's now time for Work Wednesday, where we break down one interesting career or work-related news story every Wednesday. And Work Wednesday is brought to you by MM LaFleur, the wardrobe solution for professional women. Live with purpose, dress with ease. This week, we're talking about teletherapy and how millennials are using it to deal with work-induced stress. So teletherapy is online mental health counseling. So you talk to a therapist on the phone, webcam, email, or even through text message. CNBC says this has been around for 20 years and it was used a lot by the military to treat veterans, but now it's becoming more of a trend among millennials. A telehealth organization says millennials like virtual therapy because they're already used to talking on mobile devices, so it feels a bit easier to open up. And now some companies are catching on as well, like Cisco. It now offers teletherapy to its employees to help them deal with work-life stress and personal issues that may affect job performance. Of course, not everyone is sold on this trend. Some blame the technology for the problems in the first place, making employees feel always on and overly anxious. And some experts say in-person interaction is still so important. All right, thank you so much for listening today. I so appreciate you coming here as part of your daily routine. And I hope you have better conversations because of it. And heads up, for those of you who like to listen on Spotify, you can share the episode straight to your Instagram stories from the app to help tell your friends why they should be listening too. Of course, you can always read more about the news stories we talked about in today's show notes. Just click episodes on thenewsworthy.com to see all the links and sources. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day.